Welcome.
Why? Did you do that while I was gone?
No, it's only when you're here. Did I? Oh, I love it. I did do it.
Welcome to episode number 63 at Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
Woo.
And we've got some great questions for you guys today. We're going to dive right in. Just a quick reminder, we haven't said this in a while. You can submit your questions on Instagram ahead of time through direct message, or sometimes there'll be prompts if you scroll through our Instagram, circle. Stories, yes, okay, there'll be prompts. But we would really like to know the age of your puppy and the breed of your puppy. As you can see here, oh my God, look at this thing.
Sir Snuffs a lot.
This is Sir Snuffs a lot. This is Snuffy. I mean, it doesn't get cuter than this. This pug is one of the cutest, calmest pugs I've ever met. Okay, Snuffy, are you ready to help me? Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna start with, I'm gonna start because I know you missed me and you had to deal with him a lot last month, which I'm really, really sorry about.
Oh, it was like a breath of fresh air.
You just relax and I'll take over.
I'm already relaxed, I'm already calm.
Okay, Mike has a really great, scary question. Okay. He says, hello, I'm going to purchase the Puppy Academy. I'm assuming he means the online school. Awesome. Cannot wait to see you there. Oh, are you helping? See, he's here to help. He says, I need it back, dude. I need it back. Oh.
He got a piece. Okay. Wait, so teach him what you just did to remove the paper. Okay. That's an important step.
So sorry, Mike. You're gonna hang on 1 second with your scary question. So if your dog picks something up, don't make a big deal about it. That's literally how you get dogs searching for things, eating rocks, because you're like, no, and you grab it and you rip it out of his mouth. Stay calm and cool and collected.
Otherwise, you'll create a lot of value for the item you don't want them to swallow.
Exactly. So if you don't have food on you to like do a trade and work on drop it with your puppy, calmly take your fingers and go around, I'll show you on him too, but go around the bottom lip and push in over the top of their teeth very lightly, like they shouldn't vocalize or anything, and it just forces them to open their mouth, and then you get out whatever you need and don't make a big deal about it. And of course he could have eaten the paper and been fine. You know, if your dog is going to eat a leaf, you know, let him eat a leaf. It builds immunity. Okay, anyway.
It builds immunity.
Okay, so he says, I have a quick question. For the record, Mike, it's not a quick question. We had 2 dogs that passed away. One this year, one last year. That is a bummer. I'm really sorry about that. I trained them. They were really good. Based on my experience with them, how bad could it be to get 2 puppies?
Well, I assume we have a question about it, so it's probably pretty bad.
How bad could it be? Well, I don't know if he's even gotten the puppies yet, but he says, well, we need, oh yeah, he has. Well, we need help. You probably do. So my question is, in the puppy...
What's the paper?
Delicious. No. Okay, no. Okay. So my question is, do you have recommendations on training 2 3-month-old puppies at the same time?
I love this. Yes.
I don't know if we talk about that specifically in the online school. We do have the availability for you to ask us questions weekly. So you can join and get on there or send questions ahead of time if you can't make the live that we do specifically for our online school. Excuse you. I hope you didn't get litter mates, but if you buy the thing, we'll find out. We'll get to talk to you face to face. There is such a thing as litter mate syndrome. And so if you got litter mates, you need to look deep into that right away. Even puppies can get aggressive with each other and with the family because of litter mate syndrome.
Or separation anxiety.
Or separation anxiety,
or
at the very least, they will never listen to you ever when they're together. That's at the very least. And so the biggest tip I can give you, and it's the hardest one, but it's necessary. You have no choice. You have to train them separately. Even if you only have 5 minutes with each puppy twice a day, that's 20 minutes. they need to be trained out of sight from each other. So one puppy crated or with family members in another room, and you have the other puppy sole one-on-one in the other room. You also need to take them out to potty separately at least half the time. So if that's 8 potties a day, 4 of those potties you're doing one at a time. Now, I don't know, the whole crating them in separate rooms.
I was about to say it.
That's a hard one for me. For me as a human, not as a trainer, but as a human who might get 2 puppies, even puppies the same age, even if they're not litter mates, they're just the same or similar age, they really need independence from each other. And just in my experience when working with litter mates, with people, that's the hardest thing for them to swallow, because they've already got this whole section set up in their home or in the guest room or in their room with the puppies. The idea of having to split them up is just a huge hassle, and I get that. However, I cannot tell you how much value it provides in the long run. And here's the reason for me personally, in my experience, why I know that it has value. Sparky knows that it has value just because Sparky thinks he's always right. For me, I have interned summers as a kid with breeders. My family used to breed Australian Shepherds. And so I have spent time at people's homes that breed dogs and even raise canine police dogs and train them. And so they might have 2 or 3 from one litter that they decide to keep to try to train as protection dogs or to potentially be law enforcement dogs. And learning from them, not my own experience because I don't do that, but learning from them, having to have litter mates, from the ground up, the level of separation, barely any playtime together, just not seeing each other very much is crucial to raising independent adult dogs. And I could say the same thing about twins. If anybody out there has had, twin children, they do their best. They want them to be connected, of course, but they have to work really hard to also elevate them as individuals because it's hard. Twins develop their own language and they do all kinds of crazy cool stuff. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Do the best you can. It's not an easy scenario. If you do everything that we recommend, you're probably going to have a hard month ahead of you. It's going to be hard, but then it's going to be so much easier in the long run. Like most things, you put the work in ahead of time.
I think you're already having a hard month too. That's why we're getting this question. So your month is already hard. By creating that separation, thank you, Snuffy. By creating that separation, it's actually going to make your job easier because you're probably already getting that crazy play, them not listening to you when they're together. By separating them for this upcoming month or 2 months or 3 or 10, whatever you say.
2 years, 5 years, whatever.
Whatever you want, it's up to you. That's going to help your life a lot, especially in this beginning stage. Usually you have at least 3 adolescent stages from 4 months old to about 16 months old, 18 months old, something around there. So you have some time ahead of you, but it gets easier and easier with every month that you do this, to the point to where you might even be able to give them a little bit more free time together as they mature, because they've matured listening to you separately, and then minimal coexistence, independence with you, and then coexistence with each other. There's no longer codependency, there's independence from each other, and they've learned to listen to you as a unit.
Which is so important, because I can only imagine having like twin boys or 2 boys close in age, which are practically like predators trying to kill each other and everybody else around them at a certain age. And you got to imagine, if you don't have a lot of independent relationship with them, and even if you do, the level of intensity needed to stop 2 8-year-old boys from like wrestling versus 2 boys totally different ages, or a girl and a boy. I mean, it's so different. So I just have to warn you, you're probably going to lose your patience sometimes. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're probably going to raise your voice and have a little bit more intensity than you ever had with your other 2 dogs, just to try to cut through some of what's going on in their heads.
Perfect.
All right, cool. We ready to go on?
Yep, I'm doing a short one.
You can do it.
I have a Beagle and I live in an apartment. How can I get him to be quieter?
You
got a Beagle.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
One.
Sorry.
You chose him.
He's so good. He's so quiet and so sweet. And then he just like commits and
bites the heck out of
chomps,
you.
and he holds on like he did with the paper. Ow, this is the second time.
So
You're welcome.
should people scream when their dog bites them?
No.
I was just being dramatic for the gram, just for the
Get away
record.
with my face. He
I was
bit
being-
you.
And he was talking, and I always want attention if Sparky's talking, so I was just being
So
dramatic.
why shouldn't you scream?
So
when your dog bites
you can, some people do the ouch, like they do that, but it really should, we don't do that, by the way, but I'm
It can
not,
up prey drive. It can make them more reactive. It can make them want to bite you more.
but wait,
because that's your fun sounds.
Wait, but that usually, what he just said, usually happens after the 8, 9, 10 week mark. Sometimes trainers and people will do the ouch at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, and they'll see a little bit of success from it, but then you want to taper off as your puppy starts to get older. But for the record, we don't agree with doing it at all. I was just surprised. He was so sweet, and then he was an evil puppy.
Is he still biting you?
No, he's just munching.
Okay,
Like
going back to our Beagle. All right, so you have a Beagle in an apartment. So apartment is a smaller space. You are going to run into trouble no matter what because it's a Beagle. They tend to be very, very motivated dogs. They're also hunting dogs, retrieving dogs. So you have a challenge. I think that the best way and the first step for you is to get them on a schedule, whether it's crating, playpen, or even just keeping a leash on all day long. And you aren't feeding into impulses. There's no someone knocks on the door and it's, who's that? It's someone knocks on the door, you pick up your dog's leash, guide them away, put them on place. You might need to look into trainers that work with training tools that are like balance trainers. You're gonna need a lot of different tools that help you work this dog through those barking moments. Crate, I think, is the easiest for younger dogs because you're already developing a way of keeping them quiet on the day-to-day time. And then anytime they're out of the crate, you have a really tight schedule that you're following, a lot of place work, a lot of calm routines, and then a lot of working through situations where your dog wants to get vocal. One of those might, you want to jump in there? You're biting at the bit?
Yeah.
Right. Jump in, I'm going to interrupt you in like 30 seconds.
Don't you miss me
Nope,
interrupting you?
nope,
I need to see, I'm a visual person. I have a Beagle apartment. Okay, so we don't have an age. So
I'm going to assume young puppy because that's what this is about.
Wait though, you just mentioned balanced training.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally feel like it's unfair to try to just jump to trying to use a lot of different things to throw at a Beagle that's already very vocal in an apartment. Now, I don't mind trying some things and maybe trying some aversives just to see if it cuts down on the intensity, as long as you're doing all the other things Sparky mentioned. A schedule, extra exercise, not necessarily physical, but mental. With your situation, I think you need, because baying is the way they bark.
Ooh.
Because baying is such an innate part of the breed, just like with a husky, with a lot of the ways huskies communicate, because it's such a strong part of the breed. And if you're dealing with a young puppy and you're already having these issues, I don't think it's super fair, to try to just force him to be quiet. So I would say you need to get one-on-one training immediately. Give it a few months, and if you don't see serious changes, I think you might want to rethink just the situation that you're in with your puppy. And I know that stinks, but for me, I have to draw the line somewhere. And if someone comes to me with a 3-month-old husky that is really talkative and howling and whining, but yet they're doing all the things, they're exercising, basic obedience, enrichment exercises, crating schedule, but they're getting neighbors that are complaining, they're gonna get kicked out. And it doesn't matter, like, what is fair to do to the dog to try to get him to shut up. I'm not okay. I'm personally not okay with that. So I would say just get a one-on-one trainer for a few months, and if you don't make any headway, you're gonna have to look deeper into your situation for that. That's my personal opinion. You can't always fix every situation like that. What do you think? I'm a person, this is speaking from a person who got kicked out of her first apartment with her first small dog. Okay,
And she still has Happy too.
And I tried everything and threw everything but the kitchen sink, and it did not work. It did not work for us because she was as a puppy, there was such an innate need to be heard. Anyway,
I actually found that I have better results with older dogs doing the calm crate routines, calm place routines, which we can go over in more detail if you follow up on it. But yeah, I actually have better results with older dogs rather than younger dogs.
Over a year.
Yeah, over a year, because younger dogs, you can't push them as hard as you can for an older dog because it doesn't do them justice, it doesn't help them. That's why Bethany was saying, try the training 3-4 months, and if everything you do and you're diligent, you're following everything your trainer says, and it doesn't work, you might have to reevaluate your situation. I literally have clients that moved out of their home in Hermosa Beach, which was very expensive rent, to a house in Gardena that they could afford that was equivalent to the rent here in Hermosa. Very different towns, very different situations. And they were able to keep the dog because of that, because the dog had more room to run outside. They had a very vocal dog, and they didn't have time to put all the time into the training, and even when they did, they didn't see the results they're looking for. But now they're very happy. Their dog barks a little bit in the backyard, probably just as much as it did in the apartment, and they're not getting neighbor complaints anymore. So situation can change depending on what you need.
And these are extreme situations.
These are extremes, but these are pretty common for super barky dogs.
I would say they're extreme situations, but not if your dog is under 3 months old. If it's a huge issue under 3 months old, then there is a genetic disposition of being very vocal. Okay. I can't.
Give me the stuff.
I cannot take myself seriously. It's time for him to go back to create.
We're hanging. Oh, he's wiggly, huh?
He's starting to get bored, which you can't blame him. But anyway, that's what I would say when it comes to that stuff. Even if you do all the things and your dog is under 3 months old, you may still have a serious enough of an issue where trying to you actually accidentally maybe, but you actually got a breed that is known for its vocalizations, and you may have not known that. And then sometimes when I got kicked out of my apartment, I got a breed that's not known for vocalizations, and it was still a mess. So it's a toss of the coin. I do understand that. Okay, we need to move on. So, Ricky, will you put the cutie pie away?
We're dancing first.
He's something about pugs, it's just, they're so cute to look at. It's so.
Should have done a close-up first.
Look at that face.
Everyone on TikTok, pug.
I know, man. It's like in LA we have like Pug Nation, and it's just the cutest rescue ever. Okay. All right, Alexandra says, how to calm down a puppy at night, plenty of enrichment play, and good schedule during the day. So there's a bewitching hour, so that might be what you're dealing with. For my little dog Happy, it was either like 10 or 12. For Dakota, my German Shepherd, still every now and then at 10 o'clock, she's trying to use the furniture as an agility course. We are a bit lax with her because she's an easier dog, so she thinks she can, but she almost pulled down our curtains the other day, like ripped them right out of the wall doing zoomies, you know?
I'm surprised she's still laying down on the ground this whole time.
She got in trouble.
Oh, okay.
That's why she's still laying down.
She got in trouble for licking Paula in the face.
She was bothering Paula during our meeting, and so she got in trouble, so she's behaving.
She's pouting.
She's pouting. No, she's behaving. She's not pouting. Anyway.
In the moment, though, of that witching hour, there's a couple different things you can do. Enrichment, like activities are great, but you're not trying to enrich the dog in that moment. You're trying to work them through that enrichment that they already have.
I always like to say, oh, you weren't passing it on to me?
Were you taking over?
No, I thought you were passing on the baton to me.
There you go.
I would just like to say, if your dog is doing zoomies and going crazy, you need a leash. So if you know that that's going to happen, make sure there's a leash on your dog before it happens. Like if you take them outside and they go nuts at 9 o'clock at night, make sure they're on leash, even if they're not normally.
On the harness too, especially if they're doing zoomies, because they're going to get that caught under things.
Yeah.
We want them to get caught back.
And my whole thing is, I don't have any issues with zoomies or going crazy or having fun, as long as I can recall my dog out of it cleanly and efficiently. And my guess is, with your puppy, you can't do that yet.
I only agree with that for outside, not inside. I think destructive zoomies inside is always a no-go for me. If I have a dog just doing laps, I'm okay with that. But at the minute they start using furniture, to me that is destructive zoomies. I'm not okay with that.
I see what you're saying, but as someone who spent a lot of time living in apartments, it's kind of hard not to let go a little bit and let your dog cut loose inside when you don't have any outdoor space.
Using furniture though?
For smaller dogs, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Dakota
Agree to
gets...
disagree.
We don't agree on everything. It's okay. Trainers don't agree on everything, ever. So my whole thing is, as soon as that happens, you immediately need to get on top of it and try to get your dog's attention. That needs to be used as a real world distraction to work your dog through. Then do some calm patterning before they go to bed. So the problem might even be in crate. We may be wrong. Calm puppy at night. I would say calm patterning in crate, which is just going slow, methodical, and on leash. Crate, down, take a breath, let's go, tiny turn, pause in front of the open crate door, crate, down, repeat, 10 to 15 minutes. That's gonna be 10 to 20 repetitions.
You may need food in the beginning. We don't normally recommend using food because it builds drive, but if your dog already has a lot of drive, you need to harness some of that, but then you can wean off it near the halfway mark. And you want to do this so much that your dog gets bored and they're like, just leave me in crate. Like, boredom is okay. We like boredom.
Yeah, like just leave me. I'll just lay in crate. We don't have to do this anymore. And then you're like, okay. And then you unclip the leash and take the harness off and walk away. Do you have any other tips? What if it is crate?
If it is crate, we'll do what she just said. If it's crate, honestly, if it's not crate though, and the dog is zooming all over the place,
well, the leash,
if it's on the harness, sometimes I'll even just put my foot out, step on the harness or step on the leash as they pass by, kind of hits them dead in their tracks, and then I'll grab my food, redirect them to the place. I'll do calm place pattern rather than calm crate pattern, and then after that, if I still have a lot of trouble with that, I'll use the crate during the witching hour. I got a lot of people that are like, I got 3 kids, they're already in their witching hour. I can't do dog, kids, and cranky husband as well. So I'll say, well, if you know the witching hour between 6 and 7:30, then that's your crate time between 6 and 7:30. Bring the dog out, already have them on leash, do your enrichment activities, but training enrichment. So you're using the energy, you're using that drive in a more proficient way. Enrichment sometimes builds drive and doesn't harness as much of it. Training doesn't build drive, it uses the drive that they already have and helps soothe and calm them with what she already said.
Slow mental work. I can tell you mostly work with women by what you just said.
Yes, I do.
Cranky husband, cranky kids, cranky dog. Who has to do the work? We do. Okay.
I have no kids, but I work with a lot of people that do.
A lot of women.
Yes, a lot of women.
Okay. Justine says, how do I get my puppy to stop jumping when we enter the room?
Okay. Stop jumping when you get near the room. So I want to ask you, is the puppy in the room by themselves? Are they crated, or are you bringing them out of the crate? Because if I had my ideal situation, if I leave a room, I don't leave my puppy in that room unattended. If I'm going to just leave the room to go to the restroom, I might have like a playpen to put them in. No leash. I don't want anything getting wrapped around them. And when I enter the room, they're still in the playpen. I walk over, I pick up my leash, I clip it to their harness.
Not if they're jumping up though.
Yeah, sorry, not they're jumping up.
You reach down, they jump up, you go no, stand up straight, sit, pause, 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 go to leash again, they go to jump up, pull up, nope, sit, over and over and over again until they get it.
I don't know, I've worked with some crazy high energy jumpy puppies.
Well, then I'll take the edge of the playpen and kind of just like make a little noise with it, like, hey.
You can try that. Your other option is, if you are going to leave the room for a short amount of time, you can leave that leash on in the playpen for, I'm talking really short time, a quick 2-minute bathroom break. But there may just be a moment where you don't have time and you're unsure of how to deal with that situation, the energy. I personally might even still put the leash on even if they are jumping, but then pull back and then make them wait, because that leash also gives you leverage. They jump up, I can rattle the playpen, I can lift up my leash up and out, not on the collar, harness only, up and out. Hand command sit.
For young puppies.
Relax, yeah, just to help them settle. I like to use that leash to go up and out to help them settle. If I have trouble getting a dog to settle, I know that leash is gonna help me. You're distracting them with cute dog.
I know.
You can help them settle with the leash. If you have Oh, thank you. Yep, that's my ear hole. Yep, it's clean now. Thank you.
So I would just like to take this opportunity to say you need to set up the scenario. Stop being caught off guard. So when you leave the room and you know that that's going to happen, go ahead and have a leash on your dog. Dakota's on a slip leash, and she does get a bit crazy at times, and she's 5 years old. But like I said, she's spoiled because she's easy. So you're going to take the leash on harness or on slip leash, preferably not flat collar, and you're just gonna, like if I wanted her to stop this, hey, just a little, just a little pressure up in the air. You'll feel the dog relax, and then you relax. And don't keep
moving. Their feet shouldn't come off the ground.
Yeah, they shouldn't come off the ground. It's just tension. And so when the dog relaxes and settles, then this is the part everybody rushes. Then you relax the leash. You're still pausing. Then you take a step. Like you need to go slower. Then you take another step. Dog jumps up again. Freeze, no, pressure, wait. Now, once you've got that accomplished, once you can take, this is our personal preference, instead of just using food right off the bat, our personal preference is to do this first. Then when you can take 2 to 3 steps, and your puppy seems conflicted, like, oh, I'll just touch your feet. Like, I want to jump up, but I'm not going to. Good. Reach in to pouch that you should have on because
all
you're
the time.
setting this up. Sit, food. Take 2-3 steps. Now you're sit food right away because now your puppy was like, oh, well, this they don't want. This is uncomfortable. This is good. A jackpot. And you have to do what is fun 10 times more than the NO. So the NO is just so they have clarity, and this is your no, by the way. And then you take a few steps, sit food, few steps, sit food. Every day for the next week, everybody in the family should do it. And if they can't do it, the puppy should be in crate or playpen where they don't get the opportunity to jump up. Do this for a week and your puppy will start sitting every time you stop moving instead of choosing to jump up.
It could even be if someone's already in the room with the puppy, which they should be, they've already got the leash on, they're holding the leash to the person already in the room, preventing them from jumping or getting to the person entering the room.
But they need to stand up. Like if that's that other person that's just got the puppy on leash, working with the puppy gets super excited. Don't try to manhandle the puppy with leash and food. Stand up. Matter to the puppy like a teacher in a classroom. Sit. Good. Food. Like make sure that dynamic is happening. And if you can't do it because life happens, no big deal. Crate or playpen until you can work on it again. Okay, let's move on.
2 more questions.
Why does your breath smell like fish?
Because they get fishy stuff.
My whole face smells like fish now. I
Good.
smell it.
Good. It's delicious.
2 more questions, and we have some coming in, and we have 2 minutes.
Okay, Merlin on a mission. How many naps should puppies have? How long should they sleep? Border Collie, 14 weeks old.
So
thank you for age. Thank you for breed.
Oh yeah, thank you for age. Thank you for breed.
We'll always thank you for that, people.
So 18 to 20 hours on average, under 16 weeks old. That's it's how much downtime they need, how much they need to truly rest. Have less stimulation, like a baby sleeping, darker room, that kind of thing. Not all puppies will do that, but most will. Usually I don't say not all puppies will do that, but you have a Border Collie, so who knows what you're dealing with. Let's just make sure they have a no stimulation environment for at least 18 hours a day where they can rest and decompress if they want to. Otherwise, you're gonna take a breed, and I have a Border Collie, by the way, so I don't mean this meanly, but otherwise you're gonna take a breed that already has a tendency to be neurotic and OCD, and you're going to spin them out of control with too much stimulation. So just keep that in mind. Take things nice and slow. Regular naps all day long, and
DM us for a schedule. If you need a schedule, DM us.
DM us for
a
schedule.
A dog, usually from 9 to 12 weeks old, I do an hour in crate, 30 minutes of free time. Anything above 12, I'll do like
2 to
maybe
3.
an hour and a half into 2, and then with about 30 minutes out.
2 to 3.
14 weeks old, I don't know.
2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 hours.
You could try it out. Start with 2, see how they do. If you have accidents, then stick with 2 or do it maybe like 10, 15 minutes less.
Okay.
Build up if you can.
Hurry up. Okay.
Okay.
TikTok.
This is an easy one. All right, I'm a person that loves big dogs, but I've only grown up around cats. Are there big dogs that don't require a ton of exercise and aren't all that loud?
Bernese Mountain Dog.
Great Danes, big old couch.
Great
couch
Danes
potatoes.
can be intense. I would say no on the Great Dane. Don't listen to him. Great Danes?
Asian Shepherd thing we had.
Don't do a Great
You can
Dane.
do an East Asian Shepherd. They're super rare, cost like $8,000. No, I'm just kidding. They're only like $5,000. But they're super, super chill and relaxed. They don't need much training. They don't need much exercise, and they grow to be about 180 to 220 pounds.
Believe it or not, greyhounds. I know, like,
They
look,
said big dogs.
greyhounds
Oh, you're talking
are
about
bigger
in
than
Australia, not
Dakota.
talking about- okay.
Yeah. Believe it or not, look it up. They're sprinters. They are not like long distance marathon runners. I would say Swiss Mountain Dog, Bernese Mountain Dog, greyhounds, and
East Asian Shepherd.
East Asian Shepherd. I gotta look that up. And let's move on. Do we have
That's
any on here that you want to
That's
do?
it.
What are good tricks to teach your Frenchie?
Good trick.
Take it away. I don't teach tricks.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh? I was gonna say high five is one of the cutest things to see, like a little like Frenchie go back and do, and it's good core work too. So I always like the high five. And bang is always a winner. Bang is always a winner. I think those are probably the two main ones, but make sure your puppy knows all of their foundational basic obedience first. The way that tricks are taught with all the food and the motivation, they won't learn calm foundational training near as easily if you don't at least have some of that first. Like if you haven't taught down, never teach shake or high five or
roll
anything
over.
like that. Yeah.
Your down becomes this.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through all your basics, make sure they're set in stone, they're solid, and then you can start venturing into some of the tricks.
I literally just said that. Can we?
I know,
Is there
I just
another one?
wanted to
Is there
reiterate.
another one?
They're going to be long ones, so we can save them for next week.
All right, guys, we're going to our TikTokers. This is TikTok, right? Yes. Our TikTokers, we've got some good questions on here, so we're going to save some of them for next week. Same time, same place, and I will be here.
Sure you will. Sure you will. See you guys.
Bye.
Awkward smile time.
More fishy kisses.
Dude, my face.